I want to talk to you now about a feature that is pretty cool because it allows you to paint a mask with a brush. And this is once again my cat Everest, or rather kitten. And as you can see, when I'm playing World of Warcraft, she has zero interest and she's asleep on my monitor. I love this picture so much. So let's say you wanted to mask out the cat from this image so you could put something else here. Or you wanted to mask out the background. Well, we already talked about some of the other tools. Now let's talk about the icon that lives all the way at the bottom of the toolbox. This guy right here. If you hover your mouse over it, it says Edit in Quick Mask Mode. You can access this as well by pressing Q on your keyboard. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it to start it up. And now the icon turns red when we hover our mouse over it. If I grab a brush and I move it and start to paint, we start to paint with red. See that? And pretty much the area that we're painting is the area that's going to be the mask. And we can always invert it if we want to switch the role of the mask so that we're protecting either the contents within or the area outside of the mask. You can always increase the size of your brush by hitting the right bracket so you can get the really large areas like so. And for things like her fur, you can reduce the size of the brush once you get in that area. So what I typically do when I use this on something like a cat or any kind of animal or a person with a lot of crazy hair, Rod Stewart, I'm looking at you, you can then hit the left bracket and then you can zoom in if you want to. So what I'll do is I'll grab the old navigator and I'll go ahead and zoom in and then move this over like so in this area and paint with a smaller brush. And I'll just go ahead and paint these strokes out like this. And I often don't try to follow the fur exactly. I just try to fake it. I did the same thing when I created a greeting card with my cat on it. So I painted out the hair in these kinds of strokes, and I made a couple of wild ones like that to make it look a little bit more realistic. Alright, so what I'm going to do is double click on the magnifying glass or the zoom tool just to zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to now exit this mode so you can see the mask. And all I did was click on it again. And as you can see, we have a mask around the cat. Now you might be wondering, why is it not exactly extended all the way out? Well, that's because when I was painting, I was using a soft brush. If you want harder edges, just switch to one of these guys here that don't have the little glow around it. This pretty much represents the fuzziness of a brush. So you could choose a hard brush, and then you could once again hit the brackets to increase or decrease the size of that brush, and then you can start to paint. So now I'm right along the edge like this, and I can switch to the soft brush again, and once again reduce the size of that brush to get in the hair. Alright, so what I'm going to do at this point is just zoom all the way back out and then turn the mask off, and I can always go to select inverse if I want to protect the cat or the area outside of it. So once again, quick mask mode is a nice way to create a mask that's a little bit more intuitive because you're able to actually paint it with a brush.